In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the dummy that was being prepared by Les Lumens, and we're going to take a look and see how he's progressing and how the students themselves should also progress as they're working on theirs. As we see, he has his title page. His title page is still handwritten. He'll type it up when he does the final paper itself. And of course, the same thing is with the abstract, because the abstract is what is the last thing that's going to be written, and it will be written in third person. So Les isn't going to say, I did this or I did that. He'll say, the author did this, or the author does that, or the paper says this, or the paper explains that. So it'll be a preview of the content of the paper, but it won't be using I or we, and it will be written last, since it can't be written until after the final paper is done. Now, originally, Les was going to start out with this is his original page for his introduction. This part needed to be typed with the submission of the draft of the dummy, and this is what Les had planned to do. So he had himself an outline, and then what he did, he went ahead and he typed it all up. Now, his name and everything is in the top of this because this was submitted as a separate document. When he does the final paper, this won't be listed here because his name and the information will be on the title page. So as we can see here, he has provided his historical background. He's used a slightly longer quote, and because this quote would take up extra space in this paragraph, it's been formatted separately with the whole thing indented. The same thing here, because we do that if he's using the MLA style, and if the MLA style, if the content or the quote is going to use up 3 or more lines in the body, then it needs to be indented like this without quotation marks around, because the indentation shows that it is a direct quote. For students using the APA, if the quote has 40 words or more, then it needs to be formatted in this way. So we can see that he has finished his historical background. He's used about 4 or 5 paragraphs to do the historical background. Then he has a short paragraph here that explains what his research question is, and here's his claim that he feels would be the answer to that research question. And then here's the paragraph that just covers what are the main topics that he's going to provides an overview of the main topics that he will be discussing in the same order that he will be discussing them. Now, once again, in the original dummy handwritten version, his topic number 1 was to explain how they work, the fluorescent lightings, how they work. He wanted to combine explanations from these 5 tertiary sources that he had that just basically provided background information. So what he's done now is he's going to paraphrase information from all of these information sources. Well, he's begun to do that now because he's planning on using this diagram in his paper. He's got a caption that's explaining about this diagram. He has something from this source. He has something from this source. He has something from this source. He's going to take the content from those sources and combine them together to write the explanation of how do the fluorescent lights work. And he has a second diagram that he has here with this, and he's going to use this caption to explain all of this and put emphasis on the fact that there's mercury vapor inside here, because that's one of the key things that he'll be discussing later in his paper. And he has a couple of more sources where he has information that he's going to use as the basis. He's not going to use all of this. He's not going to quote all of this. He's going to paraphrase some of this, and he also wants to do some more searching because he would like to find some research study that talks about the development and talks about the construction and the principles that are involved in how the fluorescent lamps work. Then, as we recall from before, his third topic was going to be the effects on vision. But once he started doing his research, he decided he would talk about this one first because it's a little bit narrower one and he can cover it more closely and more clearly because it's just one aspect that's being looked at. And he, in his original dummy plan, he was thinking that these are the things that he could use, these sources, as he's explaining about the effects on the vision. And so he's now advanced. He has this diagram that he's planning to use. Once again, he has a caption. This is figure number 3 as it stands right now. And he'll be focusing on these two aspects of physical health, the headaches and the anxiety and the eye strain. The anxiety and the other aspects aren't really covered, and this, especially the anxiety, is a emotional aspect that would not be relevant in our course disciplines. And he's planning to use information from these 3 sources. So he's going to read these 3 sources more deeply and pull out aspects and combine them together in order to talk about and provide some commentary on the effects of vision and how much that connects to or supports his original claim. And then he's got space here because he's going to have to explain about those and provide the information from those sources. So originally his second topic was going to be on mercury, but because mercury has such a widespread application, he's changed this to his third source, his third topic. And we can see he'll be talking about the effects of mercury. He has some images that he plans to use. There are some questions that he still has to answer. Why are they using mercury? And then what forms are they using? How dangerous is the mercury that they're using? How much is in the light fixtures? How much is in the thermometer compared to all that? And he's planned to use this source regarding the issues that are raised with the disposal of that. And he's going to take a look at the effects of mercury poisoning on these four aspects of human health. So he's started to do more further research. He's found this diagram that talks about those 4, and he's planning to use this diagram in this section. He's planning on using details and examples from this World Health Organization bulletin, a tertiary information one, but he has this in-depth study, and he has this in-depth study, and he has this article here. Now you notice that this one by Gould et al., he's using that same source. He's using that same source here for the one on vision. So what he's already done is scan through these, and he's beginning to see where he can apply the information, and just this one source can be used in multiple places. So he doesn't have to write about topic number 2 and finish all of it before he start working on topic number 3. So he's working on all of these topics simultaneously. So he'll be using this diagram, and in addition, based upon this study that was done, he's going to use this study that shows the effect on the blood and on the blood pressure. Then he'll provide some summary and analysis and some conclusion based upon what his further research then uncovers. And that will take probably up a couple pages. And then, of course, at the end of the paper, the sources, there's 2 ways that this could be done. One could be organized in the MLA method, and the other one could be done, or the students could also choose the APA. Students are using the MLA. Their source list is going to be called Works Cited. The ones who use the APA, theirs are going to be references. So whichever method that students decide to use, they need to make sure that they're consistent with how the things are cited and how they're organized. Also, regardless of which one, the source list always starts a new page. The list of sources is always alphabetized. The entire page is always double-spaced, and there's a reverse indent, opposite of how we do the paragraph. And also, the use of quotations, marks, and italics are different from the APA and the MLA. So that needs to be considered as the students are doing their papers. Now also, for the dummy, then it's required to show which of the sources are primary ones and which ones are secondary ones. This is only for the dummy. So we can see what's happened here is that he has he has typed out all these sources. He's using MLA, so his is called Works Cited. He's just listed these in the order that he found them. And when he gets his final list, he's going to alphabetize the whole list because he might not use all of these, and probably he's going to find others to add in there. And all the ones that are primary, because for the dummy it needs to have at least 4 that are a combination of primary and secondary with at least one primary. So we can see that he's got 3 primary sources here, and he has 2 secondary sources. So that satisfies what is required for the dummy. When he finishes the final paper, he's going to remove this highlighting, and he's going to remove this information up here, and it'll be works cited, and everything will be double spaced from the top to the bottom. So we can see that at this point he's gone from the preliminary level that was required for the submission of the draft of the dummy, and now he's starting to build up the dummy, starting to build up the paper by adding the information and including commentary, using the examples and then explanation of those examples in order to address the question, are the fluorescent lights really so dangerous or not? And so that was his original question, so he wants to find out if that's true or not. Thank you.